Good day, everyone. We are the Group 4 for this subject, Information Security and Management, and we will be discussing separation of duties. I am Luis Ambre M. Flores, and together with me are Mr. Sumagi, Mr. De Leon, Ms. Flores, and Ms. Watchon.
First, let's discuss what is separation of duties. Separation of duties in wireframing refers to the practice of assigning different tasks and responsibility related to the wireframing to different individuals or teams in order to ensure quality control and reduce the risk of errors or frauds. It is also known as a segregation of duties, that is mean by which no one person has a sole control over the transactions. This separation of duties in the context of wireframing, separation can involve assigning different people or teams with distinct roles and responsibilities. For example, one person or teams might be responsible for creating the wireframes, another for reviewing them to ensure they meet design and functionality requirements, and a third for approving them before they are implemented. This approach helps to ensure that no individual or team has too much control over entire wireframing process, which can reduce the risk errors, reduce the potential fraud, and improve the overall quality and accuracy of wireframes. This in this case, wireframes will help to have a more understanding about the segregation of duties, which will be presented and explained later.
So next is, we have here the sample problem. Here is a sample problem that could arise in a business software system without proper separation of duties. Imagine a company that uses a software system to manage its financial transactions, including accounts payable and accounts receivable. However, the company doesn't have a proper separation of duties in place, and one employee is responsible for both entering invoices into the system and approving payments to vendors. One day, the employee enters a fraudulent invoice into the system and approves payment to a fake vendor that they created. Since they have both entry and approval authority, they are able to circumvent any internal controls and authorize payment without anyone else's knowledge. As a result, the company loses a significant amount of money to the fraudulent scheme, and it takes some time before anyone realizes what has happened. By then, the employer responsible has fled the company and there is little recourse for recovering the funds. So this situation could have been avoided if the company had implemented proper separation of duties, such as assigning one person to enter invoices and a separate person to approve payments. This would have made it much more difficult for any one individual to carry out a fraudulent scheme undetected. Based on the sample problem, it only depicts how fraudulent work in a system software without proper separation of duties. So, mataas po talaga yung risk mangyari ito if nasa iisang system lang po yung mga employee. To address this issue, it is important to consider to have a separate panel for each employee to avoid any conflict in the business, especially in terms of securing daily transactions.
Wireframe, separation of duties. Next. Wireframe without separation of duties. Ito yung itsura ng pagla-login without the separation of duties. Once na nakapag-login ka, lahat ng information sa bookkeeping, accounting at financing department ay makikita na. Dito kailangan yung your email and password bago ka makapag-sign in. Next po.
Ayun po. Pagkatapos po natin mag-login, mapupunta po tayo sa dashboard po or yung pang-unang bungad po. A dashboard serves as a centralized tab that provides user with a comprehensive overview and access to key pictures and information. Sa top section po ay nandun po yung company logo at yung name which is the Blue Job Corporation po. Tapos yung next po is yung menu under the dashboard po. Makikita po natin yung cash flow, payment, invoice, tsaka setting. Naka-display din po sa gilid ng dashboard ang statistics data dahil po dito mabibigyan po tayo ng overall view of important data such as sale page or performance of the employee. Since ang dashboard po ay access to key pictures and information, makikita din po natin sa wireframe ang total invoice, paid invoice, unpaid invoice, latest transaction, audit reports, and financial statement. And lastly po, but not the least, ay yung user profile po sa may taas po, sa may kanan. User profile po, user information and preference can be included in the dashboard panel po. Thank you. Next po.
So, doon po sa una nating nakita, 'di ba, yung sabi po ay wala pa pong separation of duties. And makita po natin dito sa email and makita natin diyan na Flores bookkeeper. It means po, ito po yung panel para lang sa bookkeeper. Ang makakapag-access lang po ng panel na ito ay yung mga bookkeeper. Kunyari po ay ako. And ilalagay po dito yung password ng bookkeeper. And makikita po natin dito na color-coded po siya para nga po ma-distinguish kung sino po yung mga pumapasok doon sa panel. And kung sino lang po yung may access doon sa panel na yun. So, next po. So, ayan po, pagka nag-login na tayo, which is using the para pong specialized email and the password, magsisync na po yung account doon sa mismong panel. Next po. Debits and monitor the company's financial records. Tapos, I also pay invoices po, complete payroll, file tax returns, and even maintain office supplies. In short po, ang bookkeeper is the one who tracks and manages financial data of the company. So, makikita po natin dito, kunyari po sa dashboard natin, sa may left side, na tulad po ng income, dahil nga po ang isang bookkeeper ay nag-monitor ng financial transactions, makikita po natin yung expenditure, and yung salaries dahil nga ang isang bookkeeper ay nagma-manage or nag-aano ng payroll. And makita po natin dyan yung total income, ganito. Pag kunyari po, yung access po niyan, di ba, ay para lang sa bookkeeper. Yung mga duties ko po or job ko bilang isang bookkeeper, ako lang yung makaka-access noon dito sa panel na to. Yun po yung maano natin bilang separation of duties dahil isang bookkeeper lang yung makaka-access ng panel na to. And kapag kunyari may nangyari na unexpected or fraud or ano, may iwasan kasi siya dahil ako lang yung nakaka-access nito. Wala nang iba. Kunyari may nangyari na hindi natin ine-expect doon sa company, ako lang yung masisisi. Yung bookkeeper lang yung masisisi kapag may nangyari dito sa panel na to. So, next po.
Dito naman po sa may part na to is kailangan niyo po ulit mag-sign in, maglagay ng email and then your password to sign in this page po. Then next po is next slide please. Next po is kapag nakapag-login na is magsisync na yung mismong account sa may panel po. Then kapag okay na yung nagre-reload kasi yan, kapag okay na, then mapupunta siya sa may mismong home or page po ng accountant. Ito po is all about the accounting process, which is lahat na naka-indicate dito is about sa payroll process pa, which is nandito makikita natin sa side yung transactions, total assets, total liabilities, total equity, and settings, which is ayun po yung mga ginagawa ng isang accountants. And na-access ito ng professional only na accountants po. Kaya nga, as I said earlier, this is also known as segregation of duties, which is in this case, I am assigned for this certain panels, which is the accounting process. So makikita natin lahat ng transaction dito, even the asset process, profits and sales, and financial expenses po dito. And then mag-a-appear lahat ng mga ratings or anything that can relate in the accounting processes.
So yan. Next is we have the auditor panel po. So same po sa explanation ni Ms. Flores. Yung about po dito sa email is personalized email po ito wherein kapag po ginamit ko po yung personalized email ko na may auditor na naka-indicate is automatic po, magre-redirect po ako sa auditor panel. So same din po, ito po may password po dito. And as you can see, meron po ditong sa lower part, don't have an account and forgot password. If wala pa pong account, yung isa pong employee, so ang control na po na yun is nasa admin panel po ng company simply because hindi po basta-basta makakapag-create ng account and makakapasok po sa system simply because yung data po na meron po tayo doon is confidential. Hindi po siya allowed sa ibang mga employee na magkaroon po ng access po doon sa specific po na panel para lang po sa specific na employee. So next po, meron po tayo dito. Yan. After po natin mag-login, lalabas po dito yung login successful and welcome Jmark and auditor panel syncing wherein ito po yung naglo-load po dito is please wait for a moment. Simply because yung data po na meron tayo is marami. So, it is important po na yung data po na meron tayo is ma-secure. Kaya po, please wait for a moment. Hihintayin po natin yung time na kung saan pwede na po nating ma-access yung auditor panel. So, as per Ms. Flores po, sinabi rin po niya kanina na gumagamit po kami ng iba't ibang color dito para po ma-distinguish po, para po may distinct color yung each employee, each panel of the employee para mas mabilis po siyang ma-identify. Then after po nitong makapag-login, yan. Magre-redirect po tayo dito sa dashboard. As you can see, ito pong sa upper part, nandito po yung user name. Hi Jmark, then yung email ko po nandito. Then we have here yung messages, notification, and kapag magsa-search tayo ng data, dito po natin siya i-input. Then as you can see dito po sa side na to, makikita nyo po yung name ng employee and yung position niya. And dito rin po makikita yung cash flow, operation, investment, finance, and setting. So dito naman po sa dashboard, mismong dashboard, makikita nyo po yung total cash flow, operation, investment, and finance, audit data, audit report ng current year, and yung mga previous year. And also meron din po tayo ditong cash flow statement for the year ended year 2022 and audit transaction. Lahat po ng naka-include po dito sa auditor panel is lahat po ay duties and responsibilities po siya ng auditor. So as you can see, makikita nyo rin po dito sa audit transaction yung minutes kung kailan po na input po yung transaction. Makikita nyo rin po dito yung print. Ito po, icon na print na yan. If yung auditor po is want na po ng output no audit transaction. So, yun po.
So, sa following slides po, we will discuss yung importance ng separation of duties. Regarding doon din sa yung example namin na wireframe. Next po. So, preventing fraud, alam naman na po natin yung kung ano yung prevent, di ba? And ano yung fraud? Yung fraud po ay yung parang way siya ng panloloko, source siya ng panloloko, and parang mamanipulate ng isang transaction or something. So, with the help of separation of duties po, tulad nung example namin kanina na bawat duty or bawat job sa isang company tulad ng auditor, ng bookkeeper, ng accountant, ay may iba-iba silang panel. Tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, yung kapag may nangyari doon sa duty ko, for example, sa payroll, may isang empleyado na hindi siya nakasweldo, and syempre, sinong pag-aanuhan nun? Sinong sisisihin? Kundi yung bookkeeper lang dahil alam na agad na ako yung may gawa or may kasalanan kapag hindi siya nakasweldo dahil doon sa panel na yun, ako lang yung nakaka-access. And doon natin ma-secure talaga kapag may separation of duties dahil makikita nyo agad or makikita ng user kung, for example, kapag madedetect agad kapag hindi nakasweldo yung empleyado. So, next po.
Compliance. Many regulatory bodies require separation of duties as a key internal control to ensure compliance with rules and regulations. For example na lang po, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act requires public companies in the United States to implement separation of duties as part of their internal control. By explaining separation of duties in this matter, you can highlight its importance as a regulatory requirement and a crucial internal control mechanism to ensure compliance, mitigate risk, and safeguard the integrity of business processes. Next po.
Next is accuracy. Separation of duties helps ensure the accuracy of business software system by providing checks and balances. For example, if one person is responsible for entering data in a system and another is responsible for verifying data, errors are more likely to be caught before they cause problems. It is important na magkaroon ng separation of duties para ma-ensure yung accuracy ng business software. Para once na may madetect tayong error ay magagawan agad natin ng paraan para hindi na mag-cause ng problem. Next po.
Next is accountability. Separation of duties promotes accountability by making sure that no single person can be solely responsible for the process. This helps ensure that mistakes are caught and corrected, and no one person can be blamed for any problems that is arise. Dahil meron tayong separated duties, nagkakaroon ng alignment lahat ng works, and this can prevent possible problems in the accounting process, such as having fraud or other issues in the login processes. Kasi nagkaroon sila na dito sa, meron silang different panel na which is nag-help para magkaroon ng mas clear transactions, clear operation kasi nagkaroon na sila ng separate things na certain na kailangan nilang gawin, which is mas nagiging okay lahat ng bagay kasi hindi na nagkakagulo-gulo lahat ng operation, meron ng alignment. For example, this accounting process, andito lahat ng mga transactions, so you can just input that certain thing, enable to have the information. Then the information is very secured with this with these pieces.
So, overall, separation of duties is a key aspect of effective internal controls in business software system by ensuring that no single person has too much control over a process. Separation of duties help prevent fraud, promote compliance, improve accuracy, and promote accountability. So, that would be all po. Thank you.